everybody, it's Caitlin, your geeky girlfriend. Welcome back to my channel. I am in my daughter's room. I'm not going to show too much of it because we do have her name a couple of places, and we're trying not to reveal her name on the socials until she is actually born. So I'm gonna try not to show anything too identifying on here, but I'm doing some laundry right now, and I have a few miscellaneous things to put away in the nursery, and so I thought before I get in the shower and kind of go about the rest of my day, we have a snow day today, so I'm going to put the last remaining few things away and organize some of it, and then we're going to take a shower here in a minute. And I thought that while I was doing all those things, I just wanted to do like a follow-up video about like how to set up your registry and all of my thoughts and feelings about that. As of filming this video, we are 39 weeks pregnant today. So baby girl will be here literally any day. And so yeah, I am just going to do some organizing of some things, but I'm just going to be holding the phone talking to you guys about my experience with my registry and also my baby shower experience. And also just give you guys like some tips and tricks. So I did post a video with the baby list welcome box over the summer, probably, close to like 20 weeks ago now. It was a while ago. And in that video, I talked about like how to start a baby list registry, why I chose to do a registry through baby list, and all of that. So we're going to start off this video just talking about some of the things that kind of came up with using baby list. And as much as I loved it on the front end, and I will rehash that, I just want to share an open and honest review about my experience after, and also talk about how to best prepare for your baby shower. So I was very blessed. I obviously had a shower hosted by my family, but then I also had a shower hosted by my colleagues at work. My husband had a shower hosted by his colleagues at work. And I actually had a little surprise shower last week by my gymnastics ladies. They kind of threw it together, and that was a nice little surprise as well. So we really, truly were showered with so many gifts and goodies. And that is all well and good, but I want to talk about baby list itself and the pros and cons. So baby list I'm going to set this down here. Hopefully this will pop itself up a little bit for me. Just so I can fold these. This is one of the things we're going to talk about. Burp cloths. So, like I said in my baby list welcome box video, so I have a whole video about the baby list welcome box, how to get it, how to, have it sent to you. It is free if you register, and well, I say free. Free is a loose term. It is free if you have a registry on baby list, but you do have to make like a purchase of $35 or more to have it sent to you. And I think it costs $8 in shipping. So when we say free, know that there are some caveats to that. But anyway, that was a whole nother video. And in that video, I talk about how to set it up, how to add items to your registry, and things like that. Now, on the front end and from a making the registry perspective, baby list is very user-friendly. I like that I can take pictures of items in the stores. I like that I can add things from Amazon, Target, Walmart. If you have a registry on those, then you can very easily add items to your baby list registry. Now, the other thing that I noticed right away is, as I started to purchase some things for myself, which, I feel like even if you're going to have a baby shower, I feel like it's still sometimes kind of hard to not buy things. And as you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, I love to shop. Shopping is like my thing. So, of course, it was hard for me to not buy myself and my daughter some things. So I bought maternity clothes. I bought her some clothes like from, Once Upon a Child, things like that. Now, I will be clear, I did not purchase anything for myself that was full price. So everything that I bought was thrifted. And I may at some point do like a, go through all the items that I purchased new versus thrifted and why and all that. But for now, that's not the point of our video today. But when I would go and purchase something, so I spent, so I got, I ordered myself the welcome box before we knew for sure that she was a girl. And so I kind of added just some more gender neutral things to that. And then I'm trying to organize like my creams and stuff. But maybe I'll just do, anyway, talking to myself. So I got, where was I going with that? I would purchase some stuff for myself. And then I spent probably most of June, we found out that she was a girl in July, and I spent probably most of July and August. I would add a few items a night to the registry. So that's tip number 1, is definitely break it up. Don't wait till the last minute, like 2 to 3 weeks before your baby shower to add all the things to your registry, because there is so much to add, so many categories to look at, so many things to consider. Not only are you thinking about nursery decor and what you're going to do about that, but there's also things like strollers, car seats, bathtubs, like things that you think are really simple that you don't really have to think about. And you're just like, oh, it's a bathtub. You find out when you are pregnant that everything, and I do mean everything, has positive and negative reviews, and that there is like no way, like, even if you have your heart set on something, you will read a negative review and contemplate changing your mind. And also there's like 50 bajillion of everything. So let's use bathtubs as an example. You can go to the store and look at baby bathtubs and think, oh, this is the one that I want. And then you go online to purchase it and you realize, there are a lot of negative reviews about this product. And so then you kind of start to question yourself and you end up down a rabbit hole with thinking about bathtubs. And not only did I run into this problem, but when we went for our hospital tour, one of the other new moms that was there with us, she also said the same thing. She was like, I am down this rabbit hole about swings and bouncy chairs and all of this stuff. And it's hard because you don't know what your baby is going to like. So it's hard to justify like registering for some of the more expensive things, especially when you don't know what, like I said, you don't know what your baby is going to like. But anyway, so do not wait until the last minute. I, like I said, was very on the ball about like, okay, I want to get registered for things so I can start crossing stuff off the list. And so when I would go to Once Upon a Child or what have you, or go to a yard sale, whatever, which don't sleep on your yard sales. Also don't sleep on your local Goodwills, things like that. When I would go shopping of any kind, and I would purchase something, then I would go into the registry and mark it purchased. There is an option when you're in baby list you can mark it purchased by yourself. You can say that someone else is planning on purchasing this. You can send the link directly to somebody for them to purchase the item. So like if you have somebody who's like, oh, I want to purchase your crib, or oh, I want to purchase your car seat, you can actually send them the link directly through baby list. And sorry, this is a really shaky video as I'm trying to do my organizing with one hand. Okay. But anyway, so you can do that. So there are 3 different ways to mark something purchased. Now, if you purchase something yourself, obviously you would mark it, I purchased this item. But when I started the registry process, and I was thinking about like this, when I found out that you could mark stuff purchased on baby list, for example, I was like, oh, this is so great. So when somebody buys something, it will automatically mark it as purchased, and then we won't end up with a ton of duplicates. And so now we're going to get into my first critique of this video, is that yes, you can mark things as purchased on baby list. However, the only items that automatically get marked as purchased are the ones that are purchased directly through baby list themselves. Anything else, Walmart, Amazon, you have to go in and manually mark it purchased. And this is something that I didn't know, that when I sent the registry out, we didn't know. And so when people started buying gifts, and especially when we were getting closer to that baby shower day, it became very clear that and especially after the baby shower, it was, like I said, very clear that people did not go and mark things purchased, because we still, even with that feature enabled, we still ended up with duplicates. I got 2 sets of curtains. I got 4 of the same crib sheet. Now, mind you, I did register for 2 of those crib sheets. So 2 people went in and marked it purchased, but then somebody else went and purchased 2 of them, but didn't mark them purchased. So we ended up with a lot of duplicates for that reason. And so if you choose to use baby list, I would highly, highly, highly recommend to make that perfectly clear to your guests. Hey, if you are purchasing via Walmart, Target, whatever, make sure that you go in and mark your items purchased, because what ended up happening is we ended up getting several duplicates. And I'm not talking about we got yes, duplicate clothes I kind of think are somewhat unavoidable, but I got 3 of the exact same set of onesies, and I didn't even register for that many clothes. So that's the other thing when just thinking about buying things, registering for things. People love to buy baby clothes, and I also love buying clothes. So I got a lot of I purchased a lot of clothes for my daughter, myself, but then also I got a lot of clothes as gifts. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that, but in my opinion, don't register for clothes. Baby list does have a part down at the bottom where you can indicate if you want people to cook meals for you, clean your house, stuff like that. And you can put in comments. And I would recommend doing you can put in the comments used baby clothing or something like that. Or maybe you choose if there's something that you're really, really wanting, a personalized sweater or like you find a little set on Amazon or something to bring them home in, whatever. Like, I'm not saying you can't register for clothes, but just know that even if you don't, you're going to get a lot of clothes. So be specific about what size clothes you need if you are going to register for clothes. And also, I had to make sure that wasn't gonna fall. Just know that, like I said, even if you don't register for clothes, you will get a lot of clothes because people like buying clothes. And especially for little girls, I feel like people just love buying little girls' clothes. So far, we've talked about 3 things. Don't wait until the last minute to build your registry for multiple reasons. Number 1, if you build it early and you send it out to a couple of people, so like I sent it to my sister, I sent it to my mom because they were hosting the baby shower, and I think I sent it maybe to like my sister-in-law because she volunteers at a thrift store, and it was kind of like, hey, if you see any of these things at the thrift store, let me know. So you can send it out as early as you want in advance of your baby shower. We send it out like with the baby shower invitations, but I chose to send it to a few people before that. And I did get this really cute little Cindy Lou Who toy since we're due very close to Christmas. So this is actually going to go on my bookshelf because I already have the Grinch one, so we're going to not put that in the nursery. But so don't wait till the last minute, just because you will be very overwhelmed with first of all, how many baby products there are, also how many reviews there are for baby products. And take it from me, like when I was really in like, I don't know, like for example, a breast pump, a car seat, a stroller, these are even a crib. These are the things that took me a lot of time to really decide what I wanted. And that goes into our next tip, which we'll talk about as soon as we do our little review or catch up here. I would recommend not registering for any clothes, especially if you buy a lot of clothes, because you're going to get so many. Like my daughter isn't even here yet. She has almost an entire dresser full and an entire closet full of clothes. Part of that was my fault, but we did get a lot as gifts, and you will continue to do so. So that's kind of a lesson that I've learned is I probably could have not bought so many for myself, but I just fall into the trap of the thrift store and then I just get a lot. But anyway, and don't wait till the last minute. Don't register for clothes. If you do, be specific about what size clothes you think you need, what size clothes you think you want, or tell people in like the comments or the notes, like, you know, please buy a variety of sizes. Like because you're not just going to have a baby for 0 to 3 months. You're going to have a baby for their whole life. So tell people to buy like more stuff, more sizes. Then the other thing is, if you are using Baby List, make sure when you send out the registry, make sure that people understand that they may have to go in and mark items purchased to avoid duplicates. The whole point of a registry and the whole point of registering for things is so you don't end up with 50 packs of the same thing. And unfortunately for us, we ended up with, I think, 4 different instances of the same thing being purchased by multiple people because it wasn't marked purchased on the actual registry. So learn from my mistakes and prepare yourself for those types of scenarios. The other thing, something fell out. 1 second. Okay, so then my next tip was going to be, I don't even remember. I said, that brings us to our next tip, but now I forget. So maybe it'll come back to us. I think I was going to talk about how to choose a product. So I talked about this a little bit in my one cooking video that I did a few weeks ago when I started to kind of broach this subject. But when thinking about what to register for, you need to register for items that match your lifestyle. So admittedly, I had a lot of items on my registry, and there are some reasons for that, right? This is our first child. We've never had a baby before. So I feel a little bit like unprepared, as many new parents probably do. I feel like we could use some, we need all of the things, right? Because we don't know what she's going to like. So I want to try everything out. So I registered for a bouncy chair, a swing, a changing table, diaper genie, wipe thing, all this stuff. Okay. And some things, for example, a tummy time mat, a pack and play that had the changing table attachment, a crib with a changing table, a bassinet. Like, I registered for multiples of some things because of the type of house that we have. We have a 4-level split, which means that our living room is on a different level, on a different floor than the baby's room and then my bedroom. So the baby's room and my bedroom are on the same floor, and they are right across the hall. But when thinking about convenience, thinking about maximizing time and stress, minimizing stress, and all of those things, preparing for those night feedings, all of that, like, I was trying to think of ways to make it as easy for myself as possible. And so one of the things that I did was I registered for some duplicate items. I registered for 2 tummy time mats. One for, it's a weird angle, isn't it? One for the, that's not much better, but one for the living room and one for her nursery. Because if we're in the nursery and she's awake, or we're upstairs and she's awake, I'm going to want her to do tummy time in the nursery. I'm not going to want to have to go downstairs, get the tummy time mat, bring it all the way upstairs. So, I'm trying to figure out what size this is. I got this little diaper sample. I'm trying to put it away, and I don't know what size it is, so we're just going to put it there. We'll talk about diapers in a minute. So think about your actual lifestyle, the house that you have, and the habits and routines that you want to build and instill. For us, my husband and I both, tummy time and early literacy are 2 of the things that we're most passionate about when it comes to babies. So we both were on the same page about having opportunities for her to do tummy time. Now, with that being said, you do not have to purchase a $50 tummy time mat to do tummy time. Tummy time can be done on a blanket, on a rug, on a swaddle, on your chest. Tummy time can be done in a lot of different ways. So again, if you're a minimalist, you can do tummy time with the blankets and things that you will already receive from your registry. And I'm going to kind of put a pin right here and say, some people don't create baby registries. They just let people buy what they want to buy and get what they get. For me, that induced a little bit of anxiety because I didn't want the duplicates, right? Like, I wanted very specific things. And so I did the research, but the research can be very overwhelming and it can take some time, which takes us back to the first one. Don't wait till the last minute if you're like me and actually want to make decisions. If you don't care and you're like, whatever, then you don't even have to make a registry. Just let people buy what they want to buy. That's 100% a personal decision. But again, it goes back to what your lifestyle is, what kind of routines you want to establish, and how you want to make things easier for yourself and your partner. So for us, the thing that makes the most sense is to have stations in our house. So we have a changing station in the nursery for during the night for when I'm in the nursery with her during the day. Then we also have a changing station in our living room, where, my husband and I usually spend our evenings together, and where we'll spend, like when people come to visit, that's where we'll be. We'll be in the living room. So we have a changing station in there. Again, with the changing station, you don't have to have a changing pad. You don't have to have a changing table. You don't have to have any of those things. You can put a blanket down, change the baby, wherever. But for us, we chose to go ahead and register for the changing table. And we went ahead and got the changing pad with the changing station, because that's the type of person that I am. That's the type of person that my husband is. We, like designated stations for things. But again, that's us and our lifestyle, not necessarily you. So just because I had 100 items on my baby registry doesn't mean you're doing it wrong or that you're not doing something that you're supposed to be doing, because you only have 10 items on your registry. The other thing that I tried to keep in mind when building my registry was cost. I tried to limit the amount of higher priced items that I had. So a lot of the, there's a lot of talk right now in the mom community and the first time mom community about the Baby Breeza bottle sanitizer thing. And that thing costs $199. I opted to not do that, not get that. Not to say that if that's something that you're really passionate about, register for it. The most expensive things that we put on our registry were the car seats and the car seat bases, because my husband and I, between the two of us, have 3 vehicles. So being able to pop her car seat in multiple vehicles was important for us. I had an expensive tummy time mat on our registry. We ended up not getting it. That's okay. The swing was another expensive item. Didn't end up getting it. That's okay. And I'm going to talk about that in a second too, about some different tips and tricks. But the most expensive items for us, honestly, were the decor for the nursery. I had a very specific motif, a very specific theme in mind when creating her nursery, and it turned out perfectly. I'm obsessed with it. And the most expensive items on our registry were pieces for the nursery. So a rug, cushions for my glider. The mobile was not the cheapest thing, because again, I had a very specific theme and a very specific motif. So, but again, I cannot describe myself as a minimalist. So if you are, then your most expensive items probably, I know, and when I say the most expensive items, I'm not including the crib, because a crib is going to be expensive pretty much no matter where you go, no matter what brand. A crib is going to be an expensive, one of the biggest expenses that you'll have. And we did opt for the one with the changing table attached. And I'm going to do an entire video probably once our daughter is born about what we registered for, what we got versus what we actually use, and do product reviews once I've actually tried things out. But for now, I haven't done that video yet because we don't know. We don't know what she's going to like. I'm not going to review anything until I know for sure what we use on a regular basis and what she actually likes. And then I'll do a video about that. I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to say in this video. I think the biggest thing I wanted to talk about in this video was just make sure that if you are using Baby List, that you let everybody know to mark their items as purchased, because that was something that even just yesterday, my mother-in-law got our daughter a Christmas gift because we weren't sure if she was going to be born yet or not. And it was something for the nursery, and we already have it because it wasn't marked purchase. So she was kind of frustrated. I was frustrated, but it all worked out. But because it's frustrating when you spend money on something and they already have it, right? So that's common with anything. So yeah, so I wanted to talk just briefly about some other tips that I have come across. So when talking about the swing, stroller, bouncy seats, all of that stuff, and especially in my where I live, sorry, I was looking at that little sample. I got this like little Bella Bee sample thing, and I was trying to figure out what box it needed to go in. But where I live, the Once Upon a Child here is actually quite nice, and they get a lot of that kind of stuff, the bouncers, swings, all of that for, it, I would say 25 to 30% off. So definitely check your Goodwills, your Once Upon a Child, things like that. Because I had my sights set on a swing, and it was on my registry. That was one of the things that I had intended to use like gift card money for, was a swing. Because you will get a lot of gift cards too, which I love gift cards. You can get whatever you want. And it's good because if you don't get something off of your registry, like if you had something, like for example, a breastfeeding pillow or something like that, you can use gift cards. And so that's what I did for our glider cushions and for some other things for the nursery. So I just used gift cards to pay for them. But I had my sights set on a swing, and I have had several moms, first-time moms, other moms say, I've heard mixed reviews on swings. Some babies love them. Some babies do not love them. And I found a bouncer, at a garage sale for $5. So we bought that because I was like, if she doesn't like it, I'm out $5. But a swing, especially to buy one brand new, you're looking at $70 to $100. And while I loved the swing as a baby, my sister loved the swing as a baby, we don't know what my daughter's going to like. So if you know somebody who has children or grandchildren that is like looking to get rid of a swing, or you can get it at a consignment sale or whatever, I would recommend getting a used one. So that way you can try it. And then if they love it, then you go and buy your own. Or if they don't love it, then you don't feel as obligated to, like, you don't feel as down on yourself, because it's not like, oh, we bought this and she doesn't like it, so we just are out all this money. So that's kind of just another tip. Same with the stroller. I was not super picky about a stroller, so I got my stroller at the thrift store. It was in great shape. Then I researched and found the car seat that clips into it, because we really were passionate about getting a travel system stroller that the car seat could go from the car to the stroller and back with like a couple clicks. So I got that at the thrift store also. The other thing, quickly before we wrap up this video has been so scatterbrained, and I sincerely apologize. But if you get stuff like this, don't open all of them, because if like bottles and pacifiers are the same as swings and bouncy seats and even clothes, your baby might not like them. So open like one, try it out, and then if they like it, then you can open others. And I got some Nook bottles that are still in the boxes. I got, I did open, like, if I got like a Mam bottle, a Phillips Advent bottle, I do intend to try like one of each, see which one she likes best, and then kind of commit moving forward. Yeah, be careful about your duplicate items. Based on my experience, if I were to go back and do it all again, I would not register for more than one of something. So like the crib sheet, for example, I had registered for 2. I said, oh, the quantity that I want is 2, but I ended up getting, because they were not marked purchased, then I ended up getting way too many of them. So it would be my recommendation to just register for 1, because you're going to end up getting duplicates. And with certain items, it's hard to like return. It's hard to figure out Like, especially when they order something through the registry on Amazon, if you're not the person who bought it, it's very hard to make a return on Amazon. I've had to learn that the hard way as well. And that's the other thing. I guess this is how we'll wrap up this video. Is baby showers are great, but it was a very long day, very overwhelming in the best sense of the word, because you're showered with love and you're showered with gifts, and it is great. But it is hard to open all of these gifts with a smile on your face, especially if you know that you already have something. That can be hard. So if you got something from your great aunt Mildred, who maybe didn't use the registry, and so you open something from her, and then Aunt Betty gets you the same exact thing, that can be kind of hard. It can be kind of awkward to navigate that, and like how to like, oh, thank you, right? So it can be overwhelming, and it can be exhausting. And what's also overwhelming is put that in there. The thank you cards can be overwhelming, but this is all coming from a place of gratitude. And I was just so grateful for everybody who showed up, everybody who took time out of their day, their weekend, their life to come celebrate me and my daughter. And, but it can be very like, regardless of how grateful you feel, it can be very overwhelming, and that's okay. It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel like, you know, maybe a slight amount of disappointment that you didn't get that big item that you wanted, right? Or whatever the case may be. I think those are all very natural feelings, especially because you've spent so much time making this registry. You've spent so much time researching these products, and then to kind of have it not, you know, to think that you're getting something because you saw it marked purchased, and then to not open it. Like, that's kind of the same thing as like when kids they ask Santa for something at Christmas and then it doesn't come, right? So it's kind of the same thing. I'm just going to put all this. I got all these little snacks. I'm just going to put them all in my feeding basket, I think, because a lot of them she won't be able to enjoy for a while. So I think I'll just put them in my feeding basket or put them in the fridge for my husband. But yeah, so I think, like I said, this video has been very scatterbrained, but I wanted to just dump all my thoughts about building a registry, where to start, where to end. Essentially, it comes down to 3 things, 2 to 3 things. Take your time. Don't feel rushed. Break it up into smaller chunks so that way you can do the research that you want to do. You can find the products that make sense for you in terms of cost, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of cost, lifestyle, and daily habits, daily routines. Think about what life is going to look like on a practical basis once baby arrives. And I think it's really important that you just stick to that. My mom did a great job during this process of reinforcing kind of like this is what she wants. And she registered for these items because this is, these are what she thinks she's going to need. And so having someone in your corner who kind of supports that, but also I've got one more thing that needs to go in that. But like that was really helpful. And then just kind of like stick to your guns. If people say, "Oh, you've got a lot on your registry." Yeah, I've never had a kid before. I don't know what she's going to like. I don't know what we are going to use, right? So I think whatever you want to register for and whatever makes sense to you, then register for it. That's why baby registries exist. And know that you are not going to get everything on your registry. You will have to spend, you will have to buy things for yourself, and that's also okay. And so don't get discouraged about like, oh, I have to buy this. And don't, like, at least I didn't have this where, like, I did not go into this process thinking, oh, I'm going to get everything that I register for and I won't have to buy anything for my daughter myself. No, like, that's not going to happen. And again, take your time, research, pick what makes sense for you. Don't, reviews are reviews. You could absolutely love something that Susie Q next door absolutely hated because it didn't make sense for her and her family, but it makes sense for you and yours. That's all that matters. So at the end of the day, whatever you choose to register for is your choice. And that doesn't make you a bad mom, good mom, whatever. And at the end of the day, you'll read this everywhere, but babies need like 3 things. They need to be warm, they need to be fed, and they need to be clean. And as long as you're doing those things, it doesn't matter what products you need. And I'm not really the one to speak to that because I am a maximalist and I registered for all of the things, but it is true. And, stocking up on certain things is a good idea, but also know that you don't have to. You can get away with the bare minimum if you want to do a lot of laundry. That was the only other thing, talking about things to stock up on. We did get gifted a lot of diapers, which is great. Diapers are expensive. So it's great if you have people who are willing to pay for diapers. We also got a lot of wipes. You go through a lot more wipes, obviously. But things that I wish I would have registered more for would be burp cloths. I did not get very many burp cloths at all. And I've read a lot and people have told me that burp cloths are one of the things that you do use a lot. They can be, obviously, when the baby is feeding and your partner or whomever is burping them, it's nice to have a little cloth so they don't spit up on their clothes. And also, you can use them for a quick little changing pad. You can use them if they are snotty, right? They can be used for anything. They're easy to wash. They're light, so, they don't, stain. They do still stain, but not as much as those big cutesy blankets. So that was something that I didn't really get a ton of that I have kind of went out after my shower and bought more of. And some other things would be, I would say, if you do plan on breastfeeding, maybe just making sure that you have some breast milk storage bags, especially if you're going back to work and you're going to be pumping, but you can get these for free through your insurance. That's what I did. So don't feel like you have to buy them. And some women are always looking to gift them, and give them to someone else who needs them. So that's how I got a lot of mine. And don't be afraid to reach out to friends. Like I said, people who have had kids, and ask them if they have anything that they are not using. A lot of people, I've had a lot of people reach out to me since they found out that I was pregnant and ask, hey, do you want any of this stuff? I'm getting rid of it. It's, breastfeeding has not been our journey. It's not working for us. I'm getting rid of this. Do you want it? Sure. Right? Because you don't know what you don't know and you don't know what's going to work. So be open-minded in all the things, in all the journey. And also don't forget to stock up on some organizational materials too, like baskets, bins, especially if you plan to do stations of any kind. So I purchased a lot of little fabric bins on Amazon. I have a shelf in my house that I repurposed that had little baskets with it. I have taken the baskets off the shelf and used those as, like, I put one as a living room toy station, one as a living room feeding station. So don't forget to register for stuff like that too. Dresser organizers, closet organizers, all of the organizers, because there is so much stuff and you'll get so much stuff that keeping it all straight is a necessity. Some other more practical things would be like laundry detergent, paper towels, toilet paper, things like that. So those are some things that I threw on my registry and we've asked for Christmas. Again, very practical, but if somebody doesn't know what to buy you, then you can say, actually, you know what would be great is just stocking us up on laundry detergent and toilet paper. The other thing that I was going to say about laundry is you now will have your clothes, baby's clothes, partner's clothes. Babies poop a lot. They spit up a lot. So you're going to be doing more laundry. And also, it is the recommendation that whenever you buy clothing used, that you run it through the wash in your detergent or your fabric softener to help acclimate baby to whatever you're going to be using on a regular basis. So that's the other reason why I registered for so much stuff, is because I didn't want to have to do laundry every single day. You might have the opposite feeling. You may be like, nope, I'm good. I'll just get, my 2 to 3 blankets, my 1 crib sheet, and I'll just do laundry every time it needs washed. If that's you, more power to you. Great job, because that is not me. That is not our lifestyle. So yeah, I hope that this video, as scatterbrained as it is helpful, especially to those of you who are new to the pregnancy journey. You're going to be registering for some items. I hope that this was helpful, because I watched a lot of videos when trying to decide what to register for, and I didn't give any specific product descriptions or products in this video, but I just kind of wanted it to be more general, like, hey, these are some things that I registered for or these are just some tips and tricks about building your registry and what to know as a first-time mom going into the whole baby shower process. Because while it is so nice and we are so grateful, it is an overwhelming process. And there's just a lot of feelings and emotions that go into it that are completely valid, and don't feel like you have to absolutely love everything that you get. You don't. And while it's awkward, or while you may not want to ask someone for the receipt, that's awkward. But a lot of places, Target, Walmart, you can take gifts and say, this was a gift, I have a duplicate, and they'll give you store credit. And so don't be ashamed of that either, because other people who bought those items, they don't know what you don't have, especially if they are older. They're not really tech savvy. They don't know how to use the registry. There's a lot of reasons why duplicates can happen. So if you get duplicates, wean them out, give duplicates maybe to grandparents, have them keep duplicates at their house, diapers, wipes, clothes, toys. They can just have a station or a bin at their house. And we've done some of that also. So lots of options. As we actually bring baby home and I start using the products on a day-to-day basis, I will probably do another review of, these are some things that I put on my registry that I absolutely love. These are some things that I wish I would have registered for more of. These are some things that we did not like and why. Because those are the types of videos that I watched when building my registry. This video is a little bit longer than I was intending, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for this one. I do sincerely apologize for the angles in this video and the scatterbrainedness of this video. I was trying to do multiple things at once, and hope you guys don't mind. But thank you all so much for being here on this journey. Thanks so much for following along. And we are getting closer and closer every day to bringing our precious bundle of joy home. It's going to be a great Christmas for that reason, and Christmas does look different this year, but we are thrilled about it. So again, thank you guys so much for watching and for being here on this journey and this channel. And if you like this video, make sure you subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you're a first-time mom. I want you to put in the comments your tips and tricks for building registries for other first-time moms. What were some go-tos? What are some tips? Again, not necessarily specific product descriptions, but just, this is what, you know, I spent this much time building my registry. I researched this and this and this. The rest of the stuff, I kind of just went for it. Those types of things. So put all that in the comments for all of our other fellow future first-time moms. And stay tuned. We're going to do another video about the things people don't talk about when it comes to pregnancy, and the things that have kind of been unexpected for me, in terms of some of the symptoms that I wasn't really expecting. So we're going to do a video about that as well. But that's it for this one. Thanks for hanging out. And watching me walk around my house putting stuff away. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay warm, stay safe. Happy holidays if we don't see each other again for a few weeks. And again, if you're new here, hit that red button. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And hit the bell if you want to be notified about when I drop other new videos. And yeah, ta-ta.